Hey guys, what's up? So thanks so much for joining me today. This new build is going to be a hipster cafe, which you can probably see by the title. I decided I wanted to build kind of like a Starbucks-esque kind of really typical coffee shop that you might see anywhere in the world, really. I guess the typical place where people get a coffee and sit with their laptop like all day, you know, that kind of stereotype. So I just love going to coffee shops in general. I just think there's a great like social atmosphere there, and it's just great. It's a great place to catch up with friends, and it's not expensive and that kind of thing. So I wanted to build one in Windenburg, and because I decided to build in this like square in Windenburg, it gave me an easy sort of start, because I started with an old Tudor building, and then I decided to just extend on it and add the glass roofs again. Obviously, I'm sorry if you're getting sick of the glass roofs, but I'm not yet at all. So yeah, you might have to tolerate them for a bit more before I stop using them. Just 1 second, I'll be right back. My cat is meowing. I need to go see what the heck he wants. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, cats can be annoying. So anyway, yeah, it was easy for me to start off with this Tudor building and then just extend. And I kind of went with, I tried to make it look like a generic coffee shop rather than an actual Starbucks or something, but you get the idea of what I was going for with this like modern extension. And there's a lot of reclaimed kind of looking materials and textures inside, a bit of an industrial theme, and a lot of browns and natural colors and wood and brick and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the kind of vibe I was going for. And I really wanted to add obviously the big modern windows on the front and contrast that with the old windows that I'm going to add on the Tudor side in a second. And yeah, I just wanted to keep it simple as well. I didn't want to go overboard. There's a ton of items I could have added, but it would have gotten to the point where, like I always say, it would have just looked too much. So me being a perfectionist, sometimes I don't know when to stop, but I think this one was okay. I like how it turned out. And you'll get to see all the Sims kind of congregating and coming to get coffee when I was taking the screenshots and stuff, because I couldn't stop them. So the annoying thing about community lots, like if Sims spawn there, then you can't really do much about it. So yeah, they're in the screenshots at the end and stuff. So you'll get to see it in action, I guess, like with everybody there and everyone having a good time. So anyway, while I'm just continuing with the outside, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to all my new subscribers in the last few days. A few of you have joined recently, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So thank you and welcome to all of you. I spoke to one of you from Texas, so hi, shout out to you. It's just amazing and insane to me that people on the other side of the world are watching my videos, and I am so, so grateful. So thank you. I really hope you like this one, this build, and continue to like my builds. If any of you ever have any ideas or suggestions of things you might want to see from creators, not just myself, let me know, and I can obviously give my interpretation of whatever you might want. I just love getting inspiration from anywhere and everywhere, so yeah, that will be amazing to hear from you. So on the inside here, I've just put like a sectioned off room. It's the only room that I could do on that side because of the roof. So all the other roofs, obviously the glass ones, you can't really, like if you were to build a room, it's not going to have a top to it. It's just going to look odd. So because it's the bathrooms as well, I had to kind of put them tucked in this corner, and I thought it worked quite well. I was actually at one point going to make this a restaurant that like sold cafe items, so like coffee and pastries. But then I realized I would have needed to add a kitchen, and then I just thought there's no space. Well, there is space, but like I'd already planned out where I wanted certain things to go, and it wouldn't have worked with that. So in the end, I just kept it as a cafe, and like the Sims seem to spawn there loads. Like it's really nice. Like some lots you make, they just don't show up, but on this one they were like running to it, like, oh, new coffee shop's open, let's go. And that was great. I was really happy with that. And because obviously the Tudor building's got this room on the top level that's like 1 square wider all around, we've got these interesting shelves on the second level that I'm actually going to put some items on later. But for now I'm just sort of indicating where the bathrooms are for the Sims, and I'm going to add like some blackboards behind here, behind the main counter where you would order. And there were so many things I kept pulling from the catalogue like right now, that I had to just like control myself at one point and just like not use so many of them because there's so many items now with really like yeah, we have loads of things that would have worked in this like aesthetic. And obviously this coffee sign is amazing. I love it. I always thought it was a magnifying glass, but then I realized it's coffee, like a coffee cup from above. So yeah, it's hard for me to see it like that. And I just added that outside as like a modern sign. And then I'm adding these downward like really industrial looking like lights from Spa Day, and I really love those, and they normally are too big to use unless you do put them on the level above, so that worked really well in this case. And yeah, I just really like how they look, all three of them kind of focusing on the main area where you order your coffee. So I just thought it worked really well. And I also really wanted to use the new Seasons couches. I think they came in some really nice swatches. I did go with like this warm orange tone throughout the whole build, really, like I said, natural red and wood tones. And then I changed the floor now because that one was a bit too similar to the wall. So this one was a lot kind of cooler and a bit greener in colour, so this one worked really well. On the back here, I'm going to put a bar seating area with a couple of PCs. Maybe they're actually like there for you to use, which would be amazing. Like, I can't imagine that. But I kind of thought it would also be Sims, like representing Sims bringing their laptops and stuff, because we don't have laptops. We haven't had them since Sims 3, and I'm really surprised that we don't have them yet, because I used to love getting the laptops for Sims in Sims 3. It was just so much easier to take them around, obviously. So yeah, maybe we'll get those soon, I don't know. And then I wanted like different sitting areas. I wanted bar height. I wanted like grab and go kind of bar height chairs where you can just sit for 5 minutes. And then I wanted some comfy chairs where you can sit and have conversations and have a chat, read a book. Although I did forget to put a bookcase. Oh no, I might have to go back and put it in before I upload it. Oh, I don't know, maybe I'll just leave it. But yeah, bring your own book. And yeah, you can do all of that good stuff and just, you know, socialize and relax and everything. So I did also give it the convivial trait, the lot, and the peace and quiet one as well. So it should be really stress-free and a nice place to relax, maybe after work or something like that. So yeah, and here I just wanted to put some little items that I thought maybe would be for sale, because in most coffee shops now you can buy like a reusable mug, a travel mug, maybe even books, like coffee books, coffee beans, that kind of thing. And there's a whole coffee culture. I'm sure wherever you are in the world there is somewhere that you know that has that kind of coffee culture. I'm totally all for it because I love coffee. I just need to learn more types, I guess. I want to really get to know like my favorites and stuff. So yeah, I used these season little what's it called, end table here as well. You see how it's got the crack in the middle? It's really, really textured. So I use a lot of that kind of texture here because, like I said, I wanted it to look reclaimed and recycled. Obviously that's a big kind of hipster thing, if you can call it hipster. I just think it's good for the planet, but you know, yeah. So I'm not using the word hipster to be derogatory in any sense. I just wanted it to be like that typical kind of yeah, coffee shop that you might know what I mean. And I did obviously make a little hipster sim that I took in the screenshot. So he's really cool. He's got a great beard going on. So yeah, so we've got a few travel mugs here, and they are just from Debug, and they do actually unfortunately disappear for the screenshot, so sorry about that, because obviously they clean them up because they're technically like empty mugs. And here are a couple of items that I just pulled out on the wall, and those cards, they're actually handmade. So I got them from Debug, and I think it's the things that children can make on the Seasons activity table, so they can make like their own handmade cards and handmade wall items. And I thought maybe, you know how lots of coffee shops will have things like a board of like things to connect to the local community, like, oh, like where to, you know, have a dance class, and where to I don't know, go for like I don't know, like a coffee meetup or something, just local things like that. And I thought a lot of the time you'll see kids who have like done a drawing or colouring while they were in the shop, and then they've put them up on the wall, or thank you cards and things like that to the staff, you know, those kind of like local connections. And I thought that was cute, so I put those bits all around. And I also put this scout board as well as like a notice board or an information board. It's not meant to be an actual scout board, but yeah, I just thought those little details connected it to the area a little bit. So maybe like the locals in Windenburg you know, had put those items on the wall. And I also added, or I do add in a second on that side table there, the suitcase with books on it from Cats and Dogs, I think it's from. And I add that to make it look like a pile of books on there. So there are books, you just can't actually get a book to read. So my bad, I forgot. And obviously I've used a lot of these wall planters. They look amazing. Oh, here are the books, yeah. And I just think the whole plant theme obviously goes really well with this kind of hipster cafe style that I was going for. So yeah, I just love those wall plants. And here I've just put a little barrier, like, what is it called? Like a little fencing thing, just to, when you're queuing, you know which way to queue. Yeah, and I love these as well. These paintings or these frames are so hipster-esque. I just think they're great. So yeah, we're just kind of finishing off the interior, and then I do go ahead and put some tables and chairs outside as well. And I'm here trying to fill out the criteria of the cafe, because you have to have certain things, and I realized I needed 6 dining chairs, so I was like, shall I hang them on the wall? I end up just putting 6 in the corner up there, just like as like a decor, just up in the air, just, you know how some restaurants and stuff have that kind of thing, and some crates as well. But then I realized I'll actually use the dining chairs outside later, so it turned out to be way more than 6, so it's all like all the criteria is full and everything, so it's all fully functional. Yeah, and bathrooms as well, so all good. And I actually really like how the roofing, or the kind of, yeah, it's kind of like the roofing detail, but this sort of middle level where you've got odd bits of flooring and things. It was really handy to hang lights from, because obviously down facing lights, you're very restricted with the glass roofs. That's the thing I found. I've had to be more creative with how to light up the space, because you can't really just hang it if it's hanging and nothing. It doesn't, like, for me, I can't do that. I have to be more realistic about it. So obviously it's a game and you can do that if you want, but for me, yeah, I kind of have to make some way of hanging off like the beams or the eaves of the roof or something. So that was just a really cool way to do it. And I figured it would be like the old structure of the Tudor building that has been preserved and kind of, you know, kind of exposed to be shown and everything. So yeah, so I just did a little bit of landscaping, nothing too much. I actually think the tree is the only thing, you know. So I wanted to add plenty of tables and chairs outside as well. I thought these new parasols or umbrellas from Seasons were amazing. I like that we've got more modern choices now, because a lot of them were very traditional before that we had. So yeah, I really like that. And then I also added these chairs outside with these kind of really nice textured dining tables, which are base game, I think. I've always liked those. So yeah, that kind of just finishes it off nicely. So I really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It'll all be linked down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I really appreciate you watching today. Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye.